Hi everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for your patience and your hard work at keeping social distancing practices and following the CDC guidelines and Governor Wolf's guidelines. It looks like we are starting to flatten the curve in Pennsylvania, but there is still a long way to go. It's really important that we keep this up so that we could keep all of our citizens safe and healthy. We are really lucky so far, and we need to keep it that way. And I want to thank all of the businesses that have been helping each other and helping the city and keeping their doors open in whatever capacity possible. Also, organizations like the Salvation Army for doing such a good job at helping people that really need a lot of help. There are people struggling out there, and it's really important that we do all that we can to help them. So I just want to thank you all. Please stay safe and healthy and keep doing what you can to flatten the curve, and hopefully we will be up and running as normal again soon. So take care and be well. Thank you. Call the Monessen City Council meeting of April 14th, 2020 to order. Please take the roll.
Councilman Coles? Here. Councilman Gregor?
Here.
Councilwoman Lois Thomas?
Here.
Councilman Narchikowski?
Here.
Mayor Shorraw?
Here. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have the minutes from March 10th, 2020 meeting. If you would take a look at those and see if there's any corrections that need to be made. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Everyone done?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion.
Gil has something.
If everyone's ready, I will second it,
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as written. Gil, you second?
Second one.
Any questions?
Yeah, Mayor, I just have one question, and it's really not about the minutes, but I just wanted a clarification on one thing. I believe when I asked last meeting about how we were affording or what was paying for the chief's raise, which was over $8,000 in 2021, I believe you were able to tell me that you said that you were taking the GPS money and putting it to take the place of it.
I believe I said that we would also be saving money from the solicitor fees.
Okay, yeah, I believe you did say that. Okay, I'm just making the point that it's $8,000 for the second raise, let alone about $7,000 for this year, and the GPS contract was $3,500 a year. So that leaves about $4,500 each year minimum that you're expecting to save money from the solicitor?
Yes.
Okay, just want to clarify that.
Thanks. Call the roll, John.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilman Narchikowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw?
Yes. The minutes have been approved. Okay. We don't have any public comment on agenda items. We do have 2 public comments in general, which I will read at the end.
No one called in?
We have 2, not for agenda items though.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I have correspondence here from the Pittsburgh Foundation.
It's on the back of the third page.
Oh, okay. We, as you know, got the grant for the police vehicles, so I sent a letter to the Pittsburgh Foundation thanking them. And it says, Dear Ms. Sikora, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you and the Pittsburgh Foundation for your generosity towards the city of Monessen. Thanks to your grant funds totaling $100,000, the city of Monessen was able to purchase 2 new hybrid police vehicles to add to our police vehicle fleet. This greatly helps our small police department in a big way. Additionally, the remaining funds will be held in an account in order to fund maintenance on the 2 vehicles during their operational lifespan. We are always so humbled by the generosity of the Pittsburgh Foundation and of the Community Foundation of Westmoreland County. Your work makes our jobs much easier. Thank you very much. And that's dated March 30th.
I have a question, Mayor. Will you have a minute, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, question on this letter that you sent them. One, the Pittsburgh Foundation had nothing to do with it. They're only, I believe, they weren't even a gatekeeper in this. And 2, there needs to be a correction on this. This was not a grant.
The Pittsburgh Foundation is a partner of the Community Foundation of Westmoreland County. So
Okay.
the Community Foundation is funded by the Pittsburgh Foundation. So
Okay,
that's
but
why the
not
letter
where
went to
the money
them.
came- That's not where the money came from.
That's who I was advised to send the thank you letter to.
Who advised you to send a thank you letter to something that didn't exist?
Phil Koch.
That's incorrect.
According to Phil Koch, it's not.
Well, I'm sorry, I was at those meetings, along with my wife and Mr. Delfonso, and yes, we got $100,000, but it was not a grant. It was the result of a lawsuit from ArcelorMittal and a naturalist company, and the Community Foundation of Westmoreland County, for the record, was only a gatekeeper to make sure that the funds that they got from the lawsuit, which we got $100,000, Denora got $100,000.
And Carroll Township.
Correct.
Correct. However, it was funded as a grant, even though it was through a lawsuit, because I was in the early talks when the lawsuit was happening. And the Pittsburgh Foundation, again, is a partner of the Community Foundation. So this letter also went to Phil Koch, thanking them as well.
Okay, but I just want a clarification that this was not a grant. This was a result of a lawsuit.
It was a result of a lawsuit, but it was treated as a grant.
Okay.
So we have old business, and that is a motion to ratify the extension of the March 17th, 2020 City of Monessen Emergency Declaration due to the health and public safety impacts of COVID-19 by City Council indefinitely and until ended by City Council. And just to clarify, this doesn't change anything. This is an extension because when the emergency declaration was issued by me on March 17th, according to City Code, it's only good for 5 days, and then it needs to be extended. Obviously, we are still in the middle of a public health crisis with this pandemic, so it is necessary for us to take this action to do what we can on our end to help limit exposure to the public and limit the impacts. So, do I have a second on that?
A second.
Any questions, clarification on this?
So, Mayor, my question is, do you have any ideas or are there any plans possibly moving forward that, as Lois and I are doing tonight, we're calling in, are we going to do virtual meetings if this continues and things still are as bad as they are?
Yes, that is something I'd like to look into. Hopefully, we're not in the same situation by May, but we very well may be. So we need to make sure that everyone can access this. If we do a virtual meeting, everyone has the access that they need, and so we could set it up. So it will take a little bit of planning, but that is something.
The other concern too is it's sort of unique to third-class cities, is under the third-class city code, in order to have a proper meeting, you have to have a quorum of council, so 3 members of council physically present, actually at the meeting. Now, there's been some legislation that's been proposed that would change that to, give third-class cities some flexibility there, given the, the health crisis. But currently, that's kind of a concern for third-class cities, at least. How do you comply with the requirements of the third-class city code by having 3 people physically present, while also enabling, people to participate remotely?
Yeah, I know when I read that, and it said that you had to have quorum present, physically present, I was like, how are we going to do this? And the law requires us to be present, and
Here we are.
Yeah.
well, here we are, but the thing is, if we hadn't followed the law,
Hopefully the legislature gets that through and
Yeah,
straightens
there
it
is
out.
legislation that's pending to address that. Because it is a concern, across the state for third-class cities that have their hands tied.
So that's something we'll have to all keep an eye out on to see if anything happens with that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. John, call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor,
aye.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes. Motion carries. The treasurer's report, please.
Okay. First of all, does anybody have a copy of my report? Okay, as you can see, the format of my report has changed. It has now the City of Monessen, Office of the City Treasurer, Gerald Saxsun, Tax Collector. I purchased these forms and cards, what we put on the table over there for the public to take. And all this expense was on my part, nothing was billed to the city. So I took care of all of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Office of the City Treasurer, Mayor Matt Shorraw and members of City Council. Ladies and gentlemen, garbage fees and city real estate taxes collected for the month of March. Garbage fees revenue, year-to-date, current. March, we received $16,050. Year-to-date, $313,818.86. 2020 budgeted amount was $370,000. Garbage fees delinquent. March, $7,749.26. Year-to-date, $37,231.91. 2020 budgeted amount was $200,000. Garbage housing quarterly, we received nothing from the county as of this time. The budget amount is $67,800. Total budget amount for 2020 is $637,800. Garbage fees collected for 2021, March, $30, year-to-date, $344.98. 2020 budget amount, $100,000. City real estate taxes, revenues. City real estate taxes current, March, $272,910.57. Year-to-date, $272,910.57. The budget amounts as follows for 2020 budget. General fund was $1,450,000. Debt service fund was $500,000. Parks, $251,750. Library, $50,000 for a total of $2,251,750. Delinquent city taxes collected. Prior year collected by the city. Year to date, $4,672.39. The budget amount was $4,000. So we're over that budget. Collected by Portnoy, nothing so far this year. Collected by Westmoreland County, March, $42,268.73. Year to date, $42,268.73. 2020 budget amount, $120,000. Tax Claim Bureau quarterly, total year-to-date taxes collected, $319,851.69. That concludes my report. Mayor, and I need a vote on this.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as read. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes?
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes.
Okay, before we move on, I'd like to make one other statement. During the current situation that we're having at city offices are closed, I've had numerous people come down the store and ask me different questions about the city. I think I've handled 5 or 6 of them, and I gave them the correct phone numbers to call. I had one person come down and said he wanted to pay his taxes, but he only had cash. So I took that payment, and I marked it to received, and I marked it paid in cash, and I signed my name, city treasurer. Now, if we're going to continue to do this, which I don't have a problem doing this, we will turn the money in at the end of the business day, or before the end of the business day. I will get it down here. Now, I will have to have a rubber stamp stating that money was collected from the city treasurer's office. Now, if we have an extra one, fine. If not, we'll have to have one made up. So it's up to mayor and council if they want me to do it. I do not have a problem doing it.
Are there any thoughts?
Well, I've had phone calls for some people too, and probably the same people. Jerry actually came down to see you, and they're actually saying that, the city treasurer, can you take payments there?
Yeah, I mean, if we're fine with him doing it, and clearly he's fine doing it as long as we get him what he needs to do it properly, I don't have a problem with that.
I really don't have a problem, but what about security as far as you're concerned, if people are aware of that?
We have security down
That's all I need to know.
there. I don't want to elaborate on that part.
That's all I need to
That's
know.
fine.
That's all I need to know. I'm just concerned with you, Jerry.
Okay.
Gary, do you think you're gonna be okay with more people coming down there?
We don't have that many coming down right now because of these.
Okay.
And we're only having five people in the store at one time. And that includes whoever is working at the store at the time. If there's more than
Okay.
5, one of them has to leave till somebody else comes out of the business, and then they can come in. I have
That's
not
all
had
I
a
was
problem.
looking into.
We've had that set up from the beginning. And we have
Okay. I was just concerned about you as far as this corona going around. I just wanted to make sure you were still safe if you started getting an increased number of people coming to your facility.
No, we have a maximum limit, and they have to be 8 feet apart, not the 6.
Okay.
Do you wear?
All right,
do you
cool.
wear
And we wear masks, Lois. If you got any
Okay,
extra,
just making
if you got
sure.
any extra ones from the state, we'll take them.
Good luck. Good
All
luck.
right, I'm fine with you as long as you're okay and you feel you're first safe. That's fine.
Okay, now what are we gonna do about a rubber stamp?
We're gonna have to see if we can get you one.
Yeah.
If there isn't one, you need to call.
I don't know if we have an extra one or not.
Well, you need
No,
to call.
actually, we had one that just tore us, so what we'll do is order 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, that one broke.
Yeah, one pulled away. So we were gonna order 1, we'll just order 2 of them then.
Okay,
All right.
I have no problem with that.
okay, is that okay?
Yep, as long as you're comfortable with.
No, I don't have a problem with that. And
That's
the money
not a
will be
problem.
I just don't wanna keep it overnight.
No,
No.
And it will be turned in every day.
Thank
Well, hey, you're the guy keeping track of it, so
Okay?
I have no
And I have
problem with
a
that.
wonderful assistant. He does a very good job.
Okay, controller's report for the month ending March 2020.
Okay, general fund community bank checking account, bank reconciliation as of March 31st, 2020. Beginning bank balances of March 1st, 2020, $297,697.51. Deposits, $434,948.60. Expenses, $427,302.62. And the ending bank balance as of March 31st, 2020 is $305,343.49. Outstanding checks, $23,603.26. Outstanding deposits, $17,496.62. $432.96. And the reconciled balance of the bank statement is $311,513.79.
Do I have a motion to approve the controller's report?
We don't need.
We don't need a motion.
We don't need
Yeah,
control.
No.
Okay. Moving on to new business. I'd like to make a motion to conduct the first reading of an ordinance approving collection procedures and adopting interest and schedule of attorney fees and charges to be added to the amount collected as part of unpaid municipal claims for delinquent accounts as Bill number 1 of 2020. And that is the ordinance governing Portnoy that we didn't get to do last month. So that is the first reading. Is there a second to approve the first reading?
I'll make a second.
Any questions? Go ahead, John.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to award A. Folino Construction, Inc. the contract for $128,998 as the lowest responsible bidder for 2020 CDBG roadway rehabilitation project, Phase 1, Grand Boulevard, MON 2020-02. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes. Motion carries. I'd like to make a motion to award Reynolds Brothers, Inc. the contract for $49,986 for demolition and site clearance project Phase 1, arson houses, MON 2020-1, paid for by CDBG funds, 517 10th Street, 1000 Alaska Alley, 408 Reed Avenue, and 908 910 Knox Avenue. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
Never mind.
Any questions?
I got just one question. Hey, Matt, are they, once these contracts are awarded, are they on hold or are they allowed to proceed with, like, for instance, a demo or whatever construction they're doing?
That I'm not sure. Tim, do you know?
Yeah, I mean, as a result of it's a really good question because there's a lot of projects all over the place that people have questions about. It really comes down to the nature of the project. So demolition projects, unless it's an emergency demolition
Right.
projects technically should be delayed until, the governor lifts his order for contractors.
Okay.
And then roadway rehabilitation projects, unless it's something where permitting's already gone through for that, or PennDOT has specifically approved it, or it's an emergency, or a PennDOT or a DCD waiver, those should be on hold too. Although, once again, it's a municipal activity, so there's a bit of a gray area there. So a lot of people are navigating that, to try and get the work done as cost effectively as possible.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be good to go with that whenever this all lifts.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to pay Morgan Excavating LP $161,508. Oh, sorry. We did not take the vote on it. Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes. Motion carries. Now I would like to make a motion to pay Morgan Excavating LP $161,508.74 for the completion of the 3rd Street Sanitary Sewer Overflow Emergency Repair Project upon inspection, compliance with all contract terms, and certification of completion. Is there a second?
I second.
Any questions?
Yes, Mayor, where's that coming out of?
That is coming from line usage.
Okay, well, the question is what do we have in non-usages? Because according to your, somebody's figures here, we only have 105,000. Is that after this is out or before?
That's after.
John has the figures in front of him.
That's after.
We have,
That's after, I believe.
That's after.
It's after.
yep, we have about 100,000 left.
After that.
Yeah, after that, yeah, 100,000.
There's 265,000 in there then, is what you're telling us?
Right now,
Yeah,
55,
$265,000 in that
Yeah.
account right now.
Okay. Who, you seconded it then?
I thought Gil did.
Or did Gil? Oh, okay, sorry. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Coles,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes, motion carried. And I was asked to issue a proclamation to the Monessen Tobacco Free Coalition, which I will mail to them, given the circumstances, as soon as I pull this up here. They requested that we declare the month of May Protect Our Children from Tobacco Smoke and E-Cigarette Vapor Month. And that proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the Monessen Tobacco Free Coalition strives to educate residents on the dangers of tobacco smoke and e-cigarette products and aims to help them make healthy decisions for themselves and their families, and whereas it is crucial to provide a safe and healthy community for our youngest citizens, our children, and to create an environment in which they can be successful and grow to be productive citizens, and whereas according to the Centers for Disease Control, tobacco smoke and e-cigarette vapors negatively impact children's cognitive development, including that of secondhand smoke, and whereas infants and children who breathe tobacco smoke have an increased chance of limited cognitive development, infections, respiratory issues, and other illnesses compared to those who are protected from such smoke, and whereas tobacco smoke and e-cigarette vapors are considered to be environmental pollutants which can negatively impact the health and welfare of children and of citizens of all ages and backgrounds. Now therefore, I, Matthew T. Shorraw, Mayor of the City of Monessen, do hereby declare the month of May 2020 to be Protect Our Children from Tobacco Smoke and E-Cigarette Vapor Month within the City of Monessen, and do applaud the work of the Monessen Tobacco Free Coalition and their partner organizations. And I believe a copy of that will also be sent to the Monessen Leo Club, which is the student version of the Monessen Lions. And I have the police report. And the police report reads as follows. Receipts for the month of March 2020, 0 parking meter receipts, 0 parking fines and forfeits, $550 in parking permits. Total miscellaneous collection is $280. Total receipts from the district justice office, $1,307.86. Total receipts collected for March 2020, $2,137.86. And some highlights. In March, there were 6 abandoned vehicles tagged, 14 commercial alarms, 82 assist EMS, 19 assist fire, 11 assist other LEA, including code enforcement, and 16 domestic complaints, 2 drug possessions, 14 follow-up investigations, 27 miscellaneous calls for service, and 40 registration checks, 11 suspicious persons, and 47 vehicle stops. The total monthly calls for March, 448, and the calls for Westmoreland County Department of Public Safety, 573, and that brings our total to 1,493 for the year. And total number of arrests for March 2020 is 59, and the year-to-date is 219. And total miles, 4,446, with an average of 143.42 miles per day. And that is all I have for the police report. And I will hand it over to Councilwoman Thomas.
Hey, Matt, one question. I know we were talking about the parking meters. I know you read that, on your report. And we got anywhere closer to decide what we're going to do with those?
Yes, Tim is working on an ordinance, so hopefully we'll have that next month to introduce. So I had to provide a list or a map of where all of the locations are currently. And so he's working on that. We had to go through the ordinances basically from 1948 until present. So it took a bit to get all that together, but we have it now. So it's coming, I promise.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. It's kind of hard talking to everybody over the phone, but I have our street report available and a parks report for any of those who would like to read it. If you've seen throughout the city, the street crew and parks crew are working very hard even in the midst of all this craziness going on. You can just notice just going through your neighborhoods how they cleared the sidewalks and the streets. And I mean, it looks really nice. So they've done a great job. They're servicing and repairing all equipment. And they're actually doing the parks up in City Park, Shawnee, all the different parks, Ninth Street Park, making sure they're all up to speed as far as swings, basketball nets, even though the parks have been closed right now. But they've done a great job. I just pray they continue to work safely, but they're actually working very hard. But that's, you can review it if you want. It'll be available not until after the City Hall is open back up, of course. I have no library report or RDA report, but I do have a motion to approve the transfer of the 11 properties to the Redevelopment Authority for the sole purpose of effectuating the sales through the side yard program. The properties are located at 1021 Knox Avenue, 477 Motherwell Avenue, 335 Chestnut Street, 409 Chestnut Street, 801 Ross Straver Street, Allison Street, lots 272, 73, and 74, 1104 Summit Avenue, 473 Motherwell Avenue, 413 Chestnut Street, 403 Chestnut Street, and 972 Leith Avenue.
I will second your motion. Are there any questions, discussion on this? Okay.
Have people called in about these lots?
Yeah, John had checks in his office from when Judy was here where people wanted to purchase them, and there were letters attached to them requesting that they purchase these, but this is something that the Redevelopment Authority needs to handle, so that's why we have to transfer them over to them so they can do this.
Okay.
And to clarify for everybody too, the reason that it has to be involved the redevelopment authority is that when a third-class city sells property, real estate under the third-class city code, it's required to be bid. And so to save the expense of bidding where these properties really aren't worth a lot of money, you want to transfer it over to the redevelopment authority because they're not required to follow those same bidding procedures, which ends up saving the city a lot of expense as a result of that process.
In other words, if we sold it, it would cost us more to sell it.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Mayor, I have one question for Councilwoman Thomas.
Yes.
Lois, the situation we have at Fifth and Donner about the stop sign, I had 5 circumstances over the past couple of weeks of individuals there. A couple of cars ran the stop sign, there was almost an accident on 3 of them, and 2 of them for road rage, where somebody stopped at the stop sign, and the person in back of them started blowing the horn and screaming obscenities out their window. Is there any update on that stop sign and getting it?
We haven't had anything updated, no, just as far as the only thing that the police have still sat down there, but nothing as far as a sign or a flashing light, not yet, no.
Yeah, I think what's happened with PennDOT has cut back on a lot of the employees and the people in some of these jobs that are off now, so, but they're well aware of it, and, the sign has to be 7.5 feet above.
Correct.
Well, the lower sign is 7.5 feet, but the other sign is 9 feet high.
Well,
And, some people just don't look up that high.
no one got back to us about the flashing red lights, like on what the mill has around the perimeter of their stop
I
signs?
think that was right before all this shutdown started.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
They're required, the PennDOT requires, once they make a change, for a 90-day period, they have to put those lights up. After 90 days, they take them down. Okay, and then If you want to get them back up, then it's got to go through the approval process.
And that's not gonna happen right now.
Right, exactly. So if anything's gonna happen, it's delayed now, and, but we definitely have a formal complaint or criticism, whatever, in with PennDOT. So we're waiting for them to make a decision.
In my opinion, that stoplight should have been never taken out in the
I
first place.
agree.
Because people are crazy driving. I've watched somebody just came, I'm sitting outside, I'm looking at my rearview mirror, the car just came right on through.
Yep.
You know, but,
Like, no stop sign is there.
yeah.
We still have this motion on the floor, so if there's no more discussion on that, I'll ask you to call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes,
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes,
and Mayor Shorraw.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay. Councilman Orzachowski?
yes, good evening, everyone. Parks report for March 20th, the Civic Center was cleaned as needed. Hopefully that shouldn't be needed anymore because it is closed, so that's one less thing hopefully we don't have to worry about. City Park wall was fixed with help of the street department. They cut down trees around Memorial. They picked up the porta-johns in the soccer field in Shawnee Amphitheater. They ordered new swings and basketball nets for parks, took care of the issues in the guys that handle the parks and concession stands. Help street department is needed and closed parks due to the virus ordered from the mayor.
I just want to mention one thing. They pulled down the nets. Unfortunately, we got the nets up early this year, and then unfortunately, we got the virus came in.
Gotta take them back down.
So we had to take them back down, and no matter what you did, it just can't get ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
But when we had them up, there were actually
It was
about,
nice, though.
there was
The
about
kids were using-
there was about 50 people there playing
Yeah, I
basketball.
understand that.
And here we had to turn around and tell them all to go home.
Yeah, any other time I would be telling people, yes, please use the parks, but this is that time that they really should not.
I think everybody understood that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you still have people using the parks, but I haven't seen any crowds of people.
Right,
There's-
as long as, I mean, they could still like be out, like, you know, in the outside, but as long as they stay away
Absolutely,
from each other.
as long as they're doing the social distancing and
Right.
such, and everybody seems to be following those guidelines.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. The next things that were put on my agenda for B, C, D, and E, I have a question before I make a statement on them, and that is, I see there's purchase orders. Has this equipment already been ordered?
John, would you like to?
No, they
discuss?
was just typed up so we had something in writing to put on there.
Okay. I'm not making a motion for any of this equipment. I knew nothing about it, and it's my department. Lois knew nothing about it. Where, who went out and did all this without consulting us? You know, I'm being civilized here, gentlemen and ladies, but again, we've talked about if this council's ever going to come together, it has to work together. And here's another example of going off and doing things and not bringing us into gear at all on anything. And now is not the time to be buying tractors and spending money. So I will not be making a motion for any of this equipment based on those facts, because I know nothing about any of this.
John, would you like to talk a little bit about this and the funding stream and whatnot?
Well, what we did, we took an inventory of everything that we had up there.
Could I interject for
Sure,
1
go ahead.
second? It's my understanding that when this first came up, it wasn't like you went out looking for this. You had individuals come from the city park crew and from the city garage, and they were explaining to you about how the equipment was so
In disrepair.
in disrepair that it couldn't be used. Just the one tractor or something that they were looking at was going to cost almost $7,000 to repair.
Yes,
And they came to you?
yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that. These individuals came to you and one was from the streets department, one was from the parks department.
Yep.
And they gave you
That's right.
the input into this?
They told me what was broke down, what the costs were, and what I did is take the evaluation. And we got for instance, on one tractor, a $3,000 credit. We saved over $7,000 of repair, so it cost me about $2,500 for a new tractor. And right now, on the other tractor, we got another $3,000.
What are these tractors that you're talking about?
Well, the two we have were residential tractors,
Or so those are those John Deere's
John Deere's, yes.
X380s?
I got the money back for those, plus another $3,000 beyond that.
Where'd those
Wait a
tractors?
minute, wait, stop a minute. We bought 2 brand new John Deere tractors last year, late fall.
Yes, for residential
Are you
use.
It can't do the
Those
job.
weren't residential, those were commercial. Are you telling me that we just got rid of them?
Well, I traded them and got the money for them.
We haven't gotten rid of anything
Yeah,
yet.
they're still sitting up there, but we're
But
gonna,
I looked at
Those
those,
brand new.
I looked at those machines, they're not commercial grade equipment.
They're perfectly fantastic for cutting the grass they need to do. And I talked to
No, they're
Steve
not.
and everybody else up there, and they were overjoyed. about
Until
getting
you hit a curb or a stump and you cut out the whole underneath of the lawnmower.
Now, I hate to disagree with you about equipment, but I do know something about commercial quality equipment. Those are residential mowers, they're not commercial mowers by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't even purchase those to use in the cemetery because they're just not up to it. I know exactly what they are. I went and I looked at them. I didn't go up to the garage and look at them, but I went and I looked at them. I looked at the specs on them. You went out and you purchased 2 pieces of equipment that had 48-inch decks on them. The average deck that we're running in the city of Monessen is a 60-inch deck. By purchasing that equipment, you just cut down your work efficiency by 25%. That increases your labor cost by 25%. Those machines are not commercial quality, not even close to it. They should not have been purchased. Where were they purchased from, by the way?
They were purchased from the John Deere dealership on...
No. Where was the money that came for those machines? I don't remember any of that purchase going on at the meetings.
Well, maybe you should check the minutes.
I actually, yeah, I will. But I'm not quite sure why anybody would have purchased lawn tractors. I mean, that's what they're listed as. The decks aren't heavy enough. I'm sorry, Tony. They are not commercial quality pieces of equipment. They won't last 2 summers.
They have a 7-year warranty on them.
Doesn't matter. You're going to destroy them because you're using them for a commercial enterprise. The warranty will be void. I know. Been there, done that.
I'll bet you
Well, you're wrong.
do. I'm always wrong.
No, actually, you're not. You and I agree more often.
We got them what we could afford because everything else was falling apart. And we did not have money to go out and spend $12, $10, and $15, and $129,000 on tractors last year. We were flat broke.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. I wouldn't have purchased them though. They're not going to last. They can't. They're not built for it.
6 months,
Well,
you
that's
have the
interesting,
same
but let
problem.
the guys decide that.
Actually, the guys did decide that.
Again, Steve and them were ecstatic when we got them the tractors, and we even talked to them before we got them, and they said they'll be happy to use anything. They could use those on the ball field, they could use those anywhere, a lot of other places.
No.
So, you guys do what the hell you want to do, but I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and listen to someone tell me that this wasn't good or that wasn't good, when we tried to come up with something, and they were ecstatic when we delivered those tractors, and now you're telling me we're just going to turn around and get rid of them again. And again, where was this consulting for Parks Department, and if the streets were involved in some of this? There's 2 directors for that.
John handled it, as per our ordinance dictates.
John doesn't handle and make decisions on $129,000 orders.
Actually, we do, not John.
Exactly.
That's why he
And
brings
it's
the
on
information
the
to us,
agenda.
and we make the decision, not him.
So don't you think you want to have all the information in front of you before you're making a motion to buy stuff that you've never even seen yet?
That's not the point.
When we looked at the tractors, we gave all the people, which I mean the street crew and the parts crew, catalogs from John Deere, Kubota, and everything else, and said, you guys are going to use this stuff. Let us know what you think is best for you.
Well, actually, I do believe that's what was done here.
Really? Where did I get a copy? Lois, do you have a copy of that?
No, I don't.
No, where's it at, guys? I mean, come on.
No?
Council had all copies of all pictures of brochures and everything, so everybody could weigh in on it.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase.
Just out of deference to Councilman Orzechowski,
Mhm.
if he's declining to make the motions, I would go through the agenda and then right
Okay.
at the end, after Councilman Coles,
Okay,
you can make those motions then at that point.
okay. Then we'll hand it over to Councilman Gregor.
Can I just ask one question? So we are financially able to do this at this point in time?
Yes,
Yes.
It's my understanding, Lois,
yes.
that the one piece of equipment is coming out of the liquid fuels.
Right, I see that.
And what is it, John? It's like $50-some thousand this year?
58.
$58,000 this year out of liquid fuels, and then that, you're gonna finance it for 4 years?
We'll finance it for
What?
4 years.
4 years,
And there was three
and
thousand
that
from last.
money will come out of liquid fuels for those particular years.
Wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute.
Or
Where are
we're
we
paid off
getting
early.
in the financing? Where's the term? Where's the
There's no,
contract?
as far as financing, they're not gonna be interest or anything like that. There's no terms or anything like that. They're just gonna break it down into 4-year payments.
To who?
Am I correct?
Yeah, we'll
Who are we making the
finance.
4-year payments to?
Pardon me?
Who are we making the 4-year payments to?
Company we're purchasing it
Yeah,
off
the
of.
company we're purchasing, Stevens.
So they're gonna they're financing for 4 years at 0% interest.
Yes,
And where's the contract for us to review? Because you can't make a motion to purchase something unless you have a contract. Am I correct, Mr. Solicitor?
I mean, you can make a motion to purchase something without having the contract, but you'd want to have a contract ultimately before you make the disbursement, because that's your legal protection that you get what you're approving.
Absolutely.
So again, this is one of these things where the horse has already left the barn and then we'll do it afterwards. No, I want a contract and see the contract.
No, I don't think
Read it
so.
first.
I disagree. He just said that you don't have to have a contract in the beginning.
That's
You're
okay. If he's not,
financing it, but you're financing it.
Yeah, it'll be taken care of.
I want to see a contract before we finance something.
Councilman Gregor?
But I think, oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
moving on to your.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're moving.
And we'll do that at the end.
Okay,
Can I ask one more question? Is it wrong to ask that when something has to do with the streets and the parks, is it wrong to ask that the directors of those departments be involved with all these decisions before it's brought to the meeting? I don't think that's wrong to ask, is it?
What's the reason for us to be directors of our positions if you're not going to ask anything?
But see, we know the streets and the department, they need this equipment. I definitely know that. We knew that last year. But I still feel, and I know we should be involved with this decision making. When this all came to fruition, we should have been involved with this to know what's happening in our department. There's no way we should not know what is happening in our department. I'm all for them getting equipment because I know they need it. But we should have been involved in this beforehand.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with them not needing equipment. We knew this last year, and we were trying to do everything we could for them last year. But to sit there and you guys just go and do things without talking to anybody is just irrepressible. This doesn't even make sense. Just take us off our departments and don't worry about anything. You're going to treat us like this.
Yeah.
I actually have to agree. I
But
know
you think
some,
about it, Dawn. You
I,
think about it, Dawn.
Lois, I agree, unfortunately,
Yeah, I agree. agree. No, I agree. I'm just saying because this thing to do with your department, your safety, and something happened in the police department or with the firemen, you would be over the top if you didn't know about it.
I agree.
Right.
What I don't understand is why this was brought to Mr. Harhai's attention by people from both of those departments. What I don't understand is why they didn't contact you.
Well,
And-
my thing is this, if that was the case, why did you direct them to us?
Or why didn't Mr. Harhai contact us and say, hey, they're asking for equipment, this is your department, this is something that they're looking to do, you want to work with them and let's see what we can do.
Because here's the thing, you have to realize, if the city hall is closed and we're not there, of course they're going to come to Mr. Harhai because he's present every day. But you should have directed, you know what, you have a director of your department, I think you should run this by them first and then get back to me.
Well, that's probably what they should have done.
Well, we need to do
That's
that.
all.
We need to do
That's
that.
all.
If this hasn't been ordered, this needs to happen.
Well, unfortunately,
Nothing
Lois
bad
is
has
correct.
happened, so I don't understand.
The equipment is not up to doing the work at all. I hate to do something like this, Lois, because I know I'm going to offend you. Tony, I'm going to offend you too. But this has to be done because we cannot afford not to have this equipment. And yes, it's unfortunate, and I don't understand why they didn't come to you. I truly do not.
And it's not an issue because I know I have a good working relationship with the streets and the park. So I just feel that it may have been because they know City Hall's not open, so they went through Mr. Harhai, but they definitely should have been redirected to us.
Actually, I had heard something about this back in March.
Okay.
And
It
I
was
don't.
before we closed.
And I was, yeah, before we closed, and I don't understand why you weren't involved in this. My assumption was they'd already had talked to you.
No, not
And-
this year, no.
And obviously they haven't. Unfortunately, we do need this equipment. We cannot cut the grass, we cannot maintain the city unless we get it. Especially
You're
our
telling
right of
me
ways.
we have no mowers, is what you're telling me.
We don't have any mowers that are capable of doing the job.
Now, I'm asking you if we have mowers.
Oh, no, you have mowers, but they just can't do the work. I mean, if something's broke down and it costs $7,000 to repair and you can't use it, yeah, we physically have a piece of equipment, it just doesn't work. It's just like the arm mower. It's great, we have that machine, it's sitting there, but it's not working right. It's not running properly. And you can't use it, or when you do use it, it breaks down constantly. We're spending more money in labor and repair costs than we should be. I mean, it's just like those machines that you bought with a 48-inch deck. You drop it down from from a 60-inch deck down to a 48-inch deck, you just lost 25% efficiency. You've increased your labor costs by 25%.
There's no
Now
labor
they have
costs,
these small tractors that they have to drive from site to site. They're not roadworthy.
There's no labor costs, Don. We don't pay our guys. They get paid an hour and they get paid to do what they get paid to do. That's a fixed cost.
No, it's not. Efficiency, it is not a fixed cost.
They have-
Time management is one of the most important skills that you can have. When you're not efficient, your costs go up. If your hourly cost, if you only cut 75% of what you could do with a proper piece of equipment in an hour, and you have to make up for that by more time elsewhere, your labor costs go up. I'm not talking about overall, I'm talking about cost efficiency. I mean, you have to be efficient when you're out there cutting grass, when you're transporting from one area to the next. If you're running 15 minutes to get to a job site with these small mowers, when you should be able to get there, in 5 or 10 minutes, you're losing productivity. You're not.
There's a trailer sitting down at the fire department that Mr. Feehan secured.
That
That was to be used for the parks and street guys.
that trailer is not worth fixing.
It's gone, you're right.
That trailer is in such disrepair, it's not worth fixing. you would spend more fixing it than if you bought a new one. Look at. Again, I don't know why they weren't talking to you. I mean, I had inklings of this back in March, but it wasn't my department. I'm surprised that no one spoke to you.
Because it was already handled. And here's my thing, I have no problem, we know this has to be done. But my thing is, I think from now on, if I can request, if there's an issue with the Parkshire Street, that they be directed to go to their director, and then we can confer with the rest of council and Mr. Harhai. That's all I'm asking, this is done, there's nothing we can do about that. But I am asking that from now on, if there's issues, that they be directed to their director of the department. Then we'll go and confirm with Mr. Harhai and the rest of council, please.
Lois,
That's what we're here
if I hear anything like this in the future, I will call you immediately. I really,
You know, I'm not going to act like I know about tractors, but I still want to be involved in the decision making, so I know what's going on with my department. Okay?
I'm just surprised that as good as you get along with those guys, I'm surprised no one did approach you.
You know, unless they were just assuming that this was a carryover from last year, I don't know, and that may be the case.
I don't know, Lois. I mean, I just find it very difficult to believe that they didn't contact you.
Yes, because I talk to Rodney at least once or twice a week, and this was never brought up, so I'm surprised too.
And that also
Rodney.
brings up the question I have for parks, and that is three of the items, C, D, and E, comes out of my parks budget. I don't even know what my parks budget is, because nobody down there will tell me.
Well, didn't you have a total from last month's meeting?
No, I asked for what we had. We still didn't get it. I quit asking.
I thought that was read at last month's meeting.
It's not even on this month.
Do we have account balances somewhere?
It's 154,000.
That's current. 154,000 currently.
Is that before or after taking out these things?
We haven't purchased it.
We haven't purchased them.
So you're talking over $25,000 out of it.
Yes. Isn't that what that accounts for?
That's not the point. The point is, just like you, Don, you would want to know what's in it. You had a budget, like you do at the cemetery. Do you
Yes,
run
sir.
it without knowing what's in your budget?
I know what it's in my budget.
Well, of course you do, because you own it. It's a lot different. Again, that's my point, like Lois. This was all decided and already picked out and done everything, and we knew nothing about it.
That's an unfortunate oversight on their part.
But we keep saying that every meeting.
Yeah, you're correct, but I'm gonna tell you, Lois, the next time I hear something like this, I'm gonna contact you too, Tony, because I'll be honest with you, I wanna try to work with everyone. It's just that, too many missteps. And I'm actually, I can't believe that no one contacted you as far as your people. Because they were the ones that brought it to John's attention.
And just so everybody knows, and that's why this is so frustrating and I'm so pissed about it, is we talked to them, and that Lois knows this, as Dave was involved. We talked to them about that boom for cutting the sides of the hillsides along the road. That's what it's for, am I correct?
Right-of-way maintenance, yes.
Yes. We looked at 3 or 4 different options for them. Okay? We even had to go up in tractors because we were worried about if you had a counterbalance tractor. Remember that, Lois?
Yes.
Yes. We looked into all of that. We had brochures. I had 3 quotes from 3 different places. We even looked at the one place that's going back roads of 51 that sells new Holland equipment. I personally took hours of my time to drive to the dealerships and get and collect information. I gave them to Steve. Keppel had them. We remember this, Lois? We passed them out to them after a meeting last year.
The book.
Yes. And all of a sudden now, let's get this,
Just more
let's get this, and let's get this.
Well, again, I'm not sure why they didn't contact you. If something like this comes up in the future, I'll make sure that I call you personally, if I'm aware
Well,
of
I
it.
don't want to move forward on a purchase of something that is going to be a contract and we haven't seen the contract at all. That's just negligence for everybody not to read the contract before they vote on something.
I wouldn't say it was negligence. Would that be
I'm
negligence?
just being polite.
You're being polite.
Anyway,
Okay.
let's move on to the Department of Public Safety.
Code office report, habitation permits for March 2020 was 7. Correction letters was 14. Animal complaints were 4. Miscellaneous complaints 39. Zoning permits 3. Was 1 safety meeting. Building permits 1. We canceled 8 inspections due to the COVID-19 situation. We didn't want Marvin going out there and interacting with the public. So I told him just to cancel them, and after the crisis is over, he can go and do the inspections. Okay, fire report. Well, let me do the code financial report first. Plumbing inspections was 0. Plumbing licenses was $200. Year-to-date was $1,250. Building permits was $250. Year-to-date, $837.50. Demolition permits was 0. Year-to-date, 0. Sewer tapping, March was 0. Year-to-date was 0. Mercantile machines, 0. Year-to-date was $600. Soliciting permits, 0. Contractor license fees, 0. Chicken permits was $25 for March and $25 year-to-date. Street opening permits for March was $13,538.33. Year-to-date, $25,964.35. Magistrate code enforcement was 0 for March. Year-to-date was $359.26. Zoning fees was 0. Sign permits, March, $125. Year-to-date, $450. Eat and drink licenses were 0 for March. Year-to-date, $450. Eat and drink, health inspections, 0 for March. Year-to-date, $375. Habitation permits is $130 for March. Year-to-date, $2,220. Landlord fees, 0. Fireworks permits, 0. Yard waste pickup for March was 0. Year-to-date, $45. Unsewered line usage, $2,592 for March. Year-to-date, $5,040. Total for March was $16,860.33. Year-to-date, $37,316.09. That's the financial report. Fire report for March. We had a total of 32 calls, 8 automatic alarms, 2 assist police, 1 CO, 3 structure fires, 4 wires down, 1 tree down, motor vehicle accidents 1, EMS assist 2, landing zones 2, brush fires 2. We had 6 other incidents, miscellaneous incidents. We went out of town to 3 structure fires and 2 automatic fire alarms and 1 smoke in the structure for a total of 32 calls. Total responding was 501 people. Average responding per call was 15.65. Total man hours was 447.5 hours. Just a word about the average responding per call. That's gone up in 1 month from a little bit around 10 and 11 to 15 or 16 per call. That is outstanding as far as what they've done. I do not have an EMS report.
And
Councilman Coles,
Yes,
your second.
yes. My report is, I'm seeking a motion to approve the payment of current bills totaling $9,400.
I'll second that.
Any questions?
Yes,
Discussion?
where's the list of bills?
Is it not attached with your
I-
information?
I'll- I have a report here that I'd like the pending bills as of April 6, 2020, in the general fund. Watson, Mandolph and Septic LLP Solicitor, $5,390. Guardian Protection Service, $44. Pennsylvania One Call System Incorporated, $21. Bright Fight Computer Center, $889. Constellation New Energy Incorporated, $1,556.31, for a total of $7,900.31. And liquid fuels, under liquid fuels is Hydro Service Incorporated, which is $1,518. That gives the total of the $9,400.
So what was the expenditure from Buy Right Computers?
From Right Lights.
For $889.
Four.
$889, right?
Yes?
What was it for?
Computer,
Ike, what exactly was that for?
$600 was for your antivirus, and there was $75 or so for a USB CD-ROM drive external, and there was one other thing in there.
I think it was a hard drive.
I think it was a hard drive.
Hard drive,
To fix
yeah.
the machine, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Ike.
All,
So the total bills then, based on that report, is $9,418.31.
yes, that's what I got. So the solicitor bill is included in that first total, so, because it's on here twice. So we don't need number 2. Okay. Okay, call the roll.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Wozzakowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Matt Shorraw.
Yes. Motion carries.
Number 2, do
We won't need
we
number
don't
2
need a
because it's
motion, we just
included.
approve that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The following large bills from 2019 are still pending. A is $227,000. B, Refuse Authority, $138,000. All other outstanding bills from last year have been paid. The following large bills for 2020 is still pending. A, healthcare insurance, $140,000. All other outstanding bills for this year have been paid. Large accounts balances as of March 31st. A, general fund, $224,000. B, liquid fuels, $310,000. Line usage is $100,000, and this is the balance that's left after Morgan Excavating was paid. That completes my report.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to go back, and I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a John Deere Model 5100M tractor and 18-foot Bengal boom mower from Stevenson Equipment, Inc. for a total price of $129,647. This equipment will be purchased with liquid fuels money under the PA Agriculture and Groundskeeping type power equipment purchased from the CoStars program. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
Just clarification on that, we're gonna pay them how much this year, Mr. Harhai?
$60,000 we're putting out.
60,000, and we will have a contract to the effect that that's what we'll pay them this year, and that over the next 4 years, we'll pay them the balance.
Yeah,
No interest.
it'll be 90 days before we see the tractor if we have to get in line for production.
Will that be delayed because of the virus too?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So it
Could you have that motion?
should has,
I just,
should
could
have
that
some
motion
time.
be put, like, motion to do that pending review the contract?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I mean, that would be a good addition to that motion, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So that means it doesn't get ordered until we see the contract?
No,
Yeah.
Nope,
Well,
That's what you just said.
you can't order it, you can't wait for the order, you'll never get it this year where we need it. That's why we're doing it
Well,
now, you got 90 days.
How quickly can we have the contract? Like, if they gave the contract, can it be emailed so we could look at it within a week or something? I'm just asking.
Well, I don't have a problem with getting a contract, I mean, but I think we should go ahead and place the order and get this rolling, and then
Okay.
get the contract in here and take a look at it.
And
But
if you email it to everybody,
We always do that, though. We always do it after the fact.
well,
We'll get the contractor to the solicitor and let him look at it.
okay.
and
Because if that contract comes in, if it's gonna be over 90 days, we could probably get the contract within what's a reasonable time period.
I have no clue, but I think we should vote on this, and I think we should get the ball rolling on this, or we won't have it this year.
And then we can make sure that we email you the contract.
Okay.
We'll get that out to you. We're gonna have the solicitor look at it.
yeah, at the very least, they should be able to provide you with a quote, which generally provides a summary of what the contract terms will be. Obviously, in any contract, there's gonna be a lot of standard language in there, but, so that's not particularly concerning. But the key terms, it would be appropriate to get a quote or a proposal that has those on them, with the,
I think that we should do
You
that.
said you would have something on file for real.
yeah,
Do
they
we
should be
not
able to,
have a quote? Do we not have a quote or have that already?
That is a quote,
And
$129,000. That
you
is,
have something saying that the last payment will be made, you have something in regards to that too?
that's where we'll have to make sure we get the contract.
Okay.
And we'll send it to Mr. Witt, and we'll send copies to everyone else.
Send it to the solicitor, get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, call the roll.
Okay, Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
No.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a tractor B2601 HSD for $12,399 out of the Parks and Recreation account from Kubota Tractor Corporation, purchased from the Co-Stars program, and we could do the same thing as the previous motion and send that to the rest of council when we have it. Same for D and E. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski,
No, because I didn't know nothing about it.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes, motion carries. Motion to approve the purchase of a tractor B2601 HSD for $10,062.40 out of Parks and Recreation account from Kubota Tractor Corporation, purchased from the Co-Stars program. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions? Okay, call the roll.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes, well, like Tony, I just want to make sure it's noted that I have no problem with this, but I do expect to be notified next time before this takes place.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
No, because I wasn't notified about anything ahead of time.
Mayor Shorraw.
Yes, motion carries. And motion to approve the purchase of a Land Pride rear deck FDR 1660-13-31 from Murphy Family Inc. for $2,412.25 under the Parks and Recreation account purchased from the CoStars program. Is there a second?
I'll second. Gil got it.
Okay. Questions? Okay, call the roll.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilor Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orzachowski?
Nope, same reason.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Shorraw?
Yes, motion carries.
So, one other question on that. Just what are we getting for the trade-in of 2 brand-new tractors that haven't even been used?
The trade-in for the John
We're getting
Deere.
$3,000, $3,200 for them.
A piece?
For 2 of them?
Total. Yes.
Excuse me? We paid over $7,000 for those brand new. Why aren't we keeping them? Are we in the position, this city, that we can throw $4,000 away because someone doesn't like the piece of equipment that just got on council?
Well, if we can't use it, there's no point in
You
us
can
keeping
use
it.
it. You can cut grass anywhere, and it's not a detail that they already know about. They can cut the
7,000.
parks with it. They can cut the ball field.
And you'll burn it out in less than a year.
Oh, do you have one?
No, I don't, but
You don't
I
tractor at all?
I talked to
You
the
don't
parks
tractor at all?
guys about what they actually use.
Yeah, and they were perfectly ecstatic the 2 we bought them.
I don't know.
So why are we throwing $4,000 away for something we can still use that gets cut once every couple weeks or every month or 2? I want you to explain to the public how we're throwing money away because you don't like it.
Because the proper tractors weren't purchased in the first place.
Amen.
Anyway,
You weren't even there.
we have 2 public comments.
No, I have something I
Oh.
want to say. I really want to urge everyone to continue to follow the guidelines from the CDC and from the state health organization, especially as far as the social distancing. We're not out of the woods yet on this. Fortunately, we look like we are flattening the curve. And I also want to say that Captain Sue at the Salvation Army has done an outstanding job of taking care of some of the less fortunate in the city of Monessen. She is being run ragged. If anyone would like to volunteer, I would like them to call the Salvation Army at 724-684-4282, or if you know of any elderly or anyone else that needs help, to contact Captain Sue at the Salvation Army. She is doing a fantastic job.
Thank you for that. We have 2 public comments that were submitted to us. The first is from Ted Collins at 29 Euclid Drive. It's in regards to street lighting. He says, at the upper area of City Park, several lights are on 24 hours. They need new photo cell controls. And overall, the street lights in our city need to be reevaluated. This could save us quite a bit of money. We have many unneeded in certain areas. Many are not on, yet we are still paying for them. And I'll add to that, if there are street lights out, they could be submitted to West Penn. And when I drive around, if I notice street lights out, I try to get the numbers on the poles and get them to them. That happens quite often with all these crazy storms we've been having. So anything like that, or they could call City Hall and let us know that there are street lights on.
John, are you going to take a look at this situation? Are you going to send someone to look at these lights that are on
Oh,
supposedly?
yeah, I could definitely look. They replaced, West Penn replaced 5 lights at top of Grand Boulevard.
Right.
One of them they replaced, they put a new head on, and that light has been on for 24 hours a day. I just told Dave O'Malley today, and he's going to check with it, turn it off. Fortunately, they've all been switched from high-pressure sodium to LEDs.
They're all LEDs now?
LEDs,
City of
yes.
Monessen?
And if there are any other high-pressure sodium, we had to let them know, and to see if we can get them on their schedule. So, yeah, it just, some evening we'll just take a ride around and mark them down. Okay.
Thanks. The second comment is from Emery Terensky at 721 Ross Draper Street, and he says older people do not have checking accounts, they use cash. Why can't the treasurer, who makes $6,000 a year, why doesn't he collect taxes at his business, and why is it deemed essential? And he also asks why my voicemail is full and why I shop at Walmart instead of Foodland.
What?
So,
Yeah.
that's the comment. I'm just reading it, but I
Okay.
shop at both, so.
I believe the first part, it was already addressed and it was already
Correct.
decided on what to do.
Correct. And that is it.
I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know, first of all, where's the solicitor's report?
Generally, either one, there was no solicitor's report tonight because there was nothing to specifically report on that didn't come up under the other agenda items, or that wouldn't have been addressed by an email that isn't appropriate for a public meeting. It's an executive session or a personnel sort of issue.
So there was nothing that needed covered that hasn't already been.
Okay, and I'd like to know if council plans on looking at or doing something in the way, yes, Matt, that I was put out there on Facebook that someone was talking to me about how we can actually waive penalties or fees for local taxes. My comment said nothing about county or state, it said local. The city tax.
Jerry, do you have anything on that? Because I know that you're
Not
on
at this time. Nothing, nobody's gotten back to us yet.
Well, wait a minute, Jerry, nobody gets back to you. That's city. We control city, not the county. And I know the county already sent a letter to all the treasurers in all the Westmoreland County about what they're going to do. I'm talking about our local city tax. It has nothing to do with Westmoreland County or the state.
I mean, as of right now, there's nothing in the works.
So
I mean,
why aren't we doing something? Why aren't we telling people that, you know, if you can't pay your taxes and it becomes late, that we'll waive any penalty or fees because we know how bad it is?
well, we're also in the discount period. We're not at the face value period either. So it's already a discount for people paying early in the first place.
Face value is what, till June?
June.
June, end of June, beginning of June.
And
I believe it's
hopefully,
end of June.
hopefully
End of
we
June.
don't go till June with this.
Well, whether we go to June with this or not, you need to look at the demographics, and people are losing their jobs out their butts and aren't getting unemployment yet. You know, if it comes down to people wanting to pay taxes, or they're going to eat, or pay their rent, or make a car payment, they should do that to take care of themselves first.
And I'm sure they will.
Why can't we take a step to do that?
Well, I think we need to look into it, no question of that. We'll have the solicitor look at it, treasurer look at it.
I don't have a problem with
Well, we'll
I
have the
don't see
solicitor
why
look at
anybody
it.
has to look at
it.
it. It's a simple declaration that says, we know it's difficult. If you can't pay your taxes at the discount or at the face value, we're not gonna penalize you. What's so difficult
Well, we
about
didn't
this?
say
I
we
mean,
were
the
gonna
car company
penalize
will
them.
give you 90 days.
Well, it's gonna have to wait to the next meeting anyhow before you do that, because council would have to vote on it. It's not on your agenda. I'm not trying to be
True.
cruel. I'm not trying to be
That's
cruel,
true, Don, but
and
the
I'm
other
understanding.
problem I have is we don't have more than one meeting a month anymore.
Well, let's hope that we do have our work session this coming month.
Next meeting's in May,
Yeah,
in a discount,
Discount
June,
goes
so
to
you're
June.
gonna have a time period here where you can make a decision.
yeah.
Because face value doesn't kick in until June. So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to give a discount for the discount.
It's not a discount, it's a statement of telling people, we understand what's happening, don't worry about it.
But I mean, currently, we are in the discount period. So what Jerry means is that the face value period starts in June, so that's what we could look at.
Just trying to be proactive instead of reactive.
Anything else from anyone?
And I have a question for the solicitor.
Yes, sir.
I'm still waiting for your legal opinion on the January 6th meeting that you said twice in 2 meetings that you'd have a written opinion.
Well, once again, it's in litigation, so we are gonna present that opinion as part of that. I mean, I'm not gonna put a separate opinion in writing outside of that litigation, because it is actually in litigation currently.
Okay.
So the written opinion will be part of that litigation as a response to those the cases that were filed.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Okay. Meeting adjourned at 8:28. Thank you all.